Hey y'all, welcome to the quilting compound, and today's video will be the construction of the Zinnia block from Pressed Flowers. This is from the Sew Sampler box from the Fat Quarter shop. This is block number 7. Zinnia. I've got, or Zinnia, I guess, however you want to pronounce it. I've got all my pieces cut, but as you know, I cannot give you the measurements for the pieces because it is not my block. I'm using a combination of fabrics. Some of them are Adidas Sitar. Some of them are, I can't remember. That's who they're from. But this is actually Lori Holt, this one. So it ended up going pretty good, and with the other grays that I used. So you can either use a line, and I've seen some people are using purple and greens, which that would probably be pretty. Or, I mean, you could do them all scrap, all different color, whatever you want to do. And I think you can purchase this pattern along with all the other ones on the Fat Quarter Shop's website. I will link it in the description box, but I want to go ahead and get this block sewn and show you how it looks. So I'm going to move my camera down where you can see everything piecing together and putting on the sewing machine. So hang on just a second. Okay, so we're going to get started on the Zinnia flower pattern block. So I need to take my D square, and I have 4 of them, and it looks like I'm going to do the same on all 4, which is take the C squares and put one on each opposite corner. Did I not draw a line on just one of them? I did go ahead in advance and drew the lines, except for this one. And I thought about using the this easy press pen that we got in one of the, I think, the Sew Sampler boxes. I've never used one. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I really need it. I've got a big project. I think I finally, if you watch my channel much, you know that this year that I'm supposed to be making a new quilt for my bed. Because the one on there that I made years and years ago is getting kind of, worn. So my goal was to have another one for my bed. Well, I haven't got the quilt done, but I did draw out my pattern that I want to use. I had to change my sewing machine foot because I didn't do that either. So I've got that, and I think I have the majority of my fabrics already. I'm going to use more Adidas Sitar fabrics. I do, which is laundry basket quilts. I also moved my ironing board over and everything too to make everything a little bit more convenient. Let's see if it works. I got to trim that off. I'll do that. I've got to sew one on the opposite corner. I'm going to lower my stitch length a little. So I will trim. I didn't even sew that one on the line, but apparently my line wasn't even up to the corner. So this is one, and now with one going in the top right and one going in the top left, on the bottom right we place an E. So a lot of sewing flips here. Sewing flips, snowballs. What else do we call them? So I want to trim this off. So can I put this easy? Should I have done it before? Should I like, is there anything coming out of here? There's something. Now I'm gonna repress and see if what happens. I guess I should have paid attention to all those people that are using this, the Acorn Easy Press Pen. Okay, so we will continue to make 4 of these up in the top right, bottom left, and I'll get these, the rest of these made, and I'll be right back with you. Alrighty, so I sewed my 4 squares with each of the snowball corners, whatever we're going to call them, the sew-in flips here, here, and here. And this is according to the pattern directions, this is how they're supposed to be sewn. And then after that, we make 4 blocks. This is the block. And these are the sew-in flips that go to that to make the economy block, or this square in a square. And so what I have discovered is I have this, and I talked about this, and this is like a starch. I thought it was a glue, but it's not, because this is the glue. I already had the glue. So what I've done is I've glued this corner down. I'm going to see if this is going to help. Of course, I could have glued the piece of fabric in the right place, would have been better. So I'm going to glue these down on the corner. And then I did put the pressing pin right here, and it is a lot more crisp. I'm going to tell you that. So that makes me want to go back and do some of these and see what happens. So we're going to do that. And I feel like I found another toy here. And oh yeah, it does really work. That is a whole lot more, we'll say, crisp. So I'm going to continue sewing. This is my baby. This is Cooper. He's really needy right now because he has company and he's jealous. So I'm going to continue sewing. Well, let me sew this and show you. Whoops. Ran into the doggy with the chair. I'm sorry. And I have found that if you do sew just a little bit towards this side of the line, it lines up better. I really don't think that I usually try to sew right on the line, but this time it's working better to sew just a hair, just a thread maybe. Oh, my dog's mad at me now. He just looked at me and walked away. So I'm going to trim this off. Oh, he just went downstairs. Boy, he's really mad at me. So that's still a little bit wet. So I think all that does make a difference. This is a lot of steps. I mean, you got to glue. So you got to glue this down. Place your square. Make sure it sticks and everything's lined up real good. Sew it, and then after you're done sewing it, you run this along your seam. So it is a lot more work, but maybe in the long run, when you go to sew the whole entire block together, it will, of course, be more crisp, and which will probably make your points and everything meet up better. So I'm gonna use all of this stuff to see how well this block will turn out. I'm gonna have to go back and do some of these seams and line those up. So I'll finish sewing my economy blocks and shut that rotary blade before somebody gets mad at me. And so I will get this all sewn and show you how they look. Okay, I am on my last economy block, square to square, all the names of all the quilt blocks. So I have been gluing and using the this starchy pen, I guess, the Acorn pen, and it really is making a difference. I need to go back, I think, and put some right here with that seed and see how that does. But I wanted to come back and show you and sew the last block and go ahead and tell you what our next block is. So when I go to press this one, I will put the Acorn Easy Press Pen. Is it Precision Pen? And this is Precision Piecing Products, Seam Align Gentle Hold Fabric Glue. So I have been just putting a little spot of glue over here in this corner because it will get cut off. And I think this is the second time I'm showing you. I get it pressed down really, really good. I sew just a little to the right of the line, to the, I guess it would be to the, actually the outside of the block. Just, you know, a half a thread. And I have been sewing, I can tell you, a lot slower. I mean, a lot slower on this, just to make sure I get everything right. So I think that I'm going to use my pen and I'm going to press and I'm going to show you what they look like. Okay, so here is the block. I don't know if my lighting is so great, but let's go ahead and trim off the excess threads. I don't want to trim any of the extra fabric off, I think, or slice the fabric. I may have done that in one of them. So it did really lay down a whole lot flatter. Of course, it would also help if I went ahead and trimmed this off. So it is a lot of extra steps, but as of right now, those blocks sure are a whole lot flatter. So let's do an experiment here. I may have to repress that one. So let's, I mean, this is pretty flat, but I'm going to go ahead and put the seam press on here. Definitely, I can't tell if that's a piece of thread or part of the fabric. I guess it's part of the fabric. Definitely flatter. A whole lot flatter. So let's try this one. Let's do it on the back side. See if anything happens there. Yep, and this one, I just put it on the back side. And it's still, yeah, that definitely works. And so our next step is to make, we're just making a 4 patch with the A and the G blocks. And this is the last block. So this probably should have went by a little bit faster, but with all my new techniques I'm trying out, it's taking a little while longer. And if you've not ever watched my channel before or heard me say it, my foot here, I have a little magnet on the side of my sewing machine, and I just stick it over there because I do have to switch those out quite a bit, so I keep it handy. Okay. Why does this look... Sorry, did I cut my block wrong, or, you know, using a different ruler maybe? I don't know, but one's a little bit bigger than the other. Huh. I know they say when you're doing a quilt block, always use the same ruler. Well, I didn't. And maybe... So this is what I've been listening to for almost a week. Oh, no, it has been a week today. Okay, I'm going to press, I guess, to the dark side, as they say. And I think now I'm addicted to this precision pen. Thread nest. And here is our 4-patch. And let's see, is there any certain way we need to press it? I guess open would be good. So I'm going to get this pressed out, and I'm going to go ahead and start getting these blocks sewn up. Okay, so this is the first row I'm going to sew together. It doesn't look like any points really need to meet, but I'm going to pin at the ends. This might be the one that I accidentally trimmed a part of the side off. Whoops. But I'm not doing it over. So it's a little bit, one side's just a little bit bigger. So I'm sure everybody knows you put the bigger on the bottom. I said that in another video. Pin at the ends and put the bigger one on the bottom. And I'm going to press. I didn't chop off the corner. So no points were chopped off. Main objective. And this, for some reason, is a little crooked. So I'm going to just trim that off. So that is row number... Whoa, did I sew that on wrong? Yes. Y'all didn't tell me. Look how pretty that point is too. Yep, I sure did. I sewed it on backwards. Now I gotta take it off. Huh. Yep. Wow. Well, now y'all see this is what it's really like sewing over here. I told you. This thing right here, I got a couple of them that surround me because I use them a lot because I do stuff like that. But what I have noticed is when you have to rip out, which, you know, like I say, I do quite often. If your fabric is starched, I noticed that it's easier to kind of do the zip down method. It works a whole lot easier than if your fabric is not starched. But then again, you know, starching fabric, that's more time. The last time I starched a bunch of fat quarters, 21 of them. If you got to watch my video, I took them outside in our driveway, and it was a little bit of partly sunny, breezy day here. Not like today. Today's cold. And starched them out there, and they dried so quick being outside with that breeze. Usually I dry or I spray them and let them hang dry in the bathroom that just literally backs right up against this room. I put it rack in the tub and do it in there. And that can take a while, but if you get to do it outside, or if you can hang them outside, as long as, I guess, the sun's not directly shining on the fabric or anything, boy, they can really get done quick. But now that, I don't know about winter time though. Okay, now here's the right way, I think. Yes. And my point's still there. So there is the first row. And let's make sure I sew this one on right. Act like I've never done this before. Row number 2. And let's see. Well, it's okay. They meet pretty good. This one over here is a little bit far in there, but it's fine. So now all we have is this one. Make sure the gray goes up here. Why didn't I turn that over? Maybe it's getting late, but they meet. They're just really close. There's not any room to spare on that one. There's some right there. Just a little bit here and there. I need to trim some more threads. So now we just have to sew these together. Alrighty, I went ahead and got some threads trimmed off. I got this row sewn on, so now all we have is this last row here. So make sure I've got it all laid out right. I'm going to flip this over. Well, I guess I didn't get these threads. Here I go. I got the other block, but not this one. So we'll just do that later. And I'm going to go ahead, of course, and I'm going to pin. Pin, pin, pin. Maybe I can sew it one time and be done. Alrighty, let's see here. This, I chopped the point off a little bit. That one's good. I think that's good enough. That point's there. So the only thing I have to do is take that little bit out. So I'm going to do that. And I'll be back to show you the finished quilt block. Alrighty, I'm back with my finished block. Here it is. I used Acorn glue. I used the pin. It is much flatter. Did I still have to rip points out and stuff that I sewed wrong? Yes, but it is much flatter. And that is definitely, well, I think the only thing I actually purchased was this. This came, well, I purchased it, but it came in my box. So this is the Zinnia block. Like I said, this is block 7 from the Pressed Flowers Quilt Along. So I'm really happy, even though I had to rip out and sew the block wrong and all that good stuff. I think it turned out pretty good. I really do like the block. I would definitely use these blocks that have been in this and other quilts for sure. So this is my block, and oh, it turned out pretty good. I like all my fabrics, so I'm happy with that. All right, well, that's all I've got for you today. So I will see you on the next one. Have a good one. And if you could, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks. Bye-bye.